that video, we're going to assemble an XLeRobot, an amazing open source household robot intended to be cheap, easy to assemble and with parts available everywhere on the planet. My name is Gregory and today I will tell you our story of how does we assemble that project from the ordering parts, printing our all elements, assembling it all together and making our custom modifications. I'll show you all the pitfalls and pain points we made to make your assembly just easier and much faster than ours. How is it possible that assembling a robot intended to be assembled in 4 hours took us 3 weeks? Is it possible to assemble a good substitute of humanoid robot under the cost of €1,000? And why the hardest part of whole the project been finding a USB cables? Welcome to the video. The base of our robot is the card, available in every IKEA. So we started the project from little shopping. Doing some shopping for beginning of the project. This is it. This Raskok. This one. Everything began smoothly, with no sign of trouble. We bought a base of our robot which is card, available in every IKEA. Next we printed the first elements and ordered the electronics. We have most of our parts already came to us. We have some of the 3D printings here. Not all, but some. We have our IKEA card. And we have some of the electronic elements as, for example, microphones. It's our additional benefit for the XLeRobot. USB hub, Raspberry Pi, and servo controllers. The shelf is almost there. That's what happens when they saving on the last assembly production line.
Our robot.
Our robot. Time to screw first parts in our assembly. What we do now? It will be the base of the head of our robot. The big ears you can see here will be base of our head mount. Head who contains a main camera of our robot. And it will be something like that way, I guess. And next they will receive servos from China for moving our robots, arms and wheels. Okay, finally we have our servos and we're doing an unboxing of it. Day number 2 of our assembly, we have few more parts printed. Some more parts printed. This is the arms of our robots. We need to dull sharp edges, but except of it, details are okay. Hopefully, till the end of the day we managed to connect some cables and the servos. We are again in our laboratory, third day of the assembling XLeRobot. Yes, I know that the project originally intended to be assembled in the 4 hours, but we have delays in our delivery chain, so we have not all things, all parts now. We have already the power supply, that anchor station. Whoa, that's how it looks like.
It's shining. Oh, 100 hours.
And now we're looking at the axis of that battery. Because the problem we have now is the cables, because in the project we have the power supply cables, the USB to DC power supply cables intended to be for fast charge for 12 volts. And we can't find in Poland any of such type of cable. We tried to buy it from Amazon, but because Amazon is Amazon, they just didn't came. And now we're thinking what to do, how to avoid that problem. Day number 3 of our experiment, and we have more 3D printers available. You can see here the printings from 3 different 3D printers, and you can see the difference between the cheap printer and expensive one. And very expensive one. And there we met the first problems. Project includes a lot of 3D printed parts to print, and unfortunately any of us had no any 3D printer in the home. We asked our colleagues to help us and print the parts. That's why we received parts printed in 3 different 3D printers. But still, unfortunately, despite of their help, the number of parts we had been just far not enough to assemble the robot, and additionally, not all the printers been outputted good quality parts. Making internal edges of our detail more smooth. This thing again you don't need to do if you have good 3D printer. Fun fact, that detail is not from here, it should be placed actually there or there. It's similar like that detail that should be here, but we have no that detail now, so we make little adjustment. Now we have the second arm assembled. Now it's time to do the head of our robot. Assembling the base of the arms and head of our robot. Finish assembling one of the robot arms. After all, at the third day of the assembly, we managed to assemble the first half of second arm and second half of the first arm, and also assembled the head of our robot. Despite of our friends help us with printing some parts, the overall process of waiting for the parts been just too long. That's why we decided to find our own 3D printer. If you want to do something good, do it yourself. There is a printer number 4 we tried. Yes, it ended to be a simple project to do. It's day 5 of assembling of our XLeRobot. We have finally all our parts printed. And we have that part, that tongs or whatever name of it, can be adjusted like this. It's 3D printed part. See how does it work. That new 3D printer just enters with one finger, like without any additional effort, without any cleaning of the parts, without dremeling them or using the sandpaper. It's the arm camera for our XLeRobot. Quite heavy one. How do you think? What was the biggest challenge we made during assembling of XLeRobot? Bad quality of prints, complicated electronics and cable management, hard to assemble mechanical parts? No, the biggest challenge been logistics. Imagine, the project contains the tens of different parts you need to order. All that cables, servos, electronics, mechanical parts. All the parts been chosen to be available everywhere in the world, which is actually a noble idea, but reality is you just can't create the construction with so big number of parts where all the parts will be available everywhere, despite of all the best efforts of the construction creators. That's why many of parts wasn't just available to buy here in Poland. For example, wheels, which been really hard to find everywhere and for which we need to wait for 2 weeks, like Reelson's camera, which just never came to us, or the really stupid thing, the USB to DC cables, which we specially needed to order from China. That could be something much more interesting. Parcel inside of the parcel. And finally we have that 12 volts USB-C to DC cable. So inaccessible anywhere in Poland or Europe. We need to find in AliExpress to get it. It's so stupid and so hard to access thing here. I'm so happy we finally have it. And that way we can connect that cable to engine controller. And by other side we can power up it with Anker power station. 12 volts USB cable. And we have 12 volts on the output of that cable, so that means the cable works. Wow! Amazing, and it can connect to our engine controller. Wow! Checking by smelling if it's not burned. Trust me, I'm hammering the screws. Same as nails. Let's do our final assembly of head of our robot.
Flexible attachment.
Yes. For you I recommend first screw that part in, after that place that part on that top thing. We need 2 people to operate 1 screwdriver.
And now, at last, 12th hour of our 4-hour assembly.
Okay, so we screwed in the first screws and we have our arm screwed to our robot top. Okay, time to assemble the second arm to the base. And this is time I will tell you about our custom modification we done in the XLeRobot construction to make it even better. And don't get me wrong here, we really like and appreciate original construction, and if you assemble XLeRobot the same way as in original extraction, it will perfectly work. But what we decided to change in the original construction is to remove clamps that connecting the base of the card itself with the base of the arms. In our opinion, clamps is the not best solution here, because clamps is the thing using to connect something temporary. When, for example, you glue in 2 parts together, you can clamp them together to wait until the glue will be dry. But in case you want to do something for always, you need to screw it with the screws, not with clamps. That's why we made holes in our plastic base and then provided the screws in that holes and screw them to the card. That way our arms will be connected to our card for constant stable weight. Screwing in our custom modification of the XLeRobot. Okay, so we have our arms assembled to the base finally. And this is starting to look like almost humanoid. Now we need to do long cables that will connect our arms with servo controller, with the head, with the camera servo mechanism, and also cable for controlling wheels. So 2 cables, one for wheels and another for the head of the XLeRobot. Okay, so now we have that long cable, so you can see that from that short one we created a long one. It's maybe not the most professional way we did it, but well, we do provide that cable inside of our tower. Okay, and we have our cable provided. So now here we can connect it to the engine controller in that place, which will be placed exactly here on the back of our robot arm. And we finally have our long cable to control our base servos that will be like there, down there, from here to here. And now we are doing a servos calibration. After our robot and arms are assembled, we need to add serial IDs to our servos. That's exactly what we're doing using the special software for it. We connecting every servo one by one to the servo controller, and through special software from Bambot, we give it that IDs. Finally, after wheels are here, we can assemble the robot base. Polishing our wheels because they are too big. Omni wheel deassembled. If you ever wondered how does Omni wheel looks like inside, that's how. So we have 3 wheels of our gearbase assembled. That wheel is quite big as for the servo in my opinion. Assembling the base. Cables of the base connected, and we can finish the base. Okay, our base is assembled, and now we need to put it here, I guess. Well, let's check the instruction. Put the Lekivi base with connectors under the card to see whether it can give enough pressure to the card. With 4 wheels of the card still touch the ground. If not, try to modify the connector's 3D model by slightly adjust the Z-axis scale directly in Slicer software. What? But I have my things printed already. I have no 3D printer or slicer software here. How can I modify it? Okay, I placed the card on the top. Seems our wheels are on the ground, hopefully. Yes, they're rotating here. Okay. Very good. Let's connect it now. It's quite dark, evening already. And we have our base assembled. And assembled with the card. You can see not all the screws are screwed in because some of them are colliding with our mesh, but the screws who are screwed in are total enough to hold the base. Day number 6, 7, 12. We already not counting time. It's already about 3 weeks since we started assembling the project. So 4 hours. They said we will assemble it in 4 hours. Initially we would to place the real sense camera here on the top, and we ordered that camera, but after about 2 weeks of waiting for it, we received information that oops, sorry, there's no such camera at the shop at all. So it seems to be that exact camera too impossible to achieve, and we decided to take just camera from that intended to be here on the arm of our robot, place on the top of it. Time to install Raspberry Pi as a brain of our robot. SD card with the Raspbian system inside of it. So hard to do it with one hand. And Raspberry Pi will be placed here inside of that black box. That's how it looks like now with 2 cameras connected to USB hub to our Raspberry Pi. Okay, it looks like we finally assembled at least mechanical part of our XLeRobot. We have our base, we have both of our arms, we have our top camera, few USB cables to connect, and actually we can program our XLeRobot. We're doing calibration of our arms. That's how we're doing calibrating. We're moving joints of our arm in all possible directions to provide our calibration file with all the servos like position values. Every joint to all its maximum and minimum. We had the problem with arm calibration. After all, the reason being that we named servos in the wrong order. Not from the gripper to the base, but from the base to the gripper. At that moment we thought the job is done already. Robot is assembled, arms are calibrated, we should be able to control it without any issues. But reality appears to be much more brutal than we thought. Seems keyboard teleoperation does not work. Provide the numbers, different letters which intended to manipulate our arms, but for some reason it not works. For now we haven't succeeded to set up arms tele up, so we decided to start working on the wheels movement instead. Our chassis works, our robot moving. And now we can control at least every single servo in the arm. That's how we're doing the robot control over the keyboard. And our robot is now able, controlled by us, to make a simple pick and place task like here. My conclusion: logistics been the hardest part of whole the project. Looking for all that rare parts, waiting till they come, if they come. That all so complicates and prolongs the project. Hopefully the creators of XLeRobot now created the kit you can just buy that contains almost all the parts. Unfortunately, when we started to create our construction, there had been no such possibility. If you want to assemble your XLeRobot, just buy the kit. Do not repeat our mistake. And believe they haven't paid me to say that. The kit is not much more expensive than the cost of all the parts and deliveries, but if you calculate your time, stress and effort you need to put into the gathering all the parts, it's much more cheaper. If for some reason you want to buy all the parts for robot by yourself, well, think again and watch that video again. But if you still definitely want to buy all the parts by yourself, first of all I recommend you to have own 3D printer. Without good quality own 3D printer, just not start doing it, you just can't. And another thing I can recommend you use AliExpress for ordering many of the parts. It's been one of the positive surprises during that project that you can actually find many of the parts here and receive them quite fast. In the video we covered all the steps of assembling of XLeRobot. If you're stuck everywhere, just feel free to reference anywhere, any part of the video. If you still have problems of assembling your construction, feel free to write commentary. I really read and answer all of them. While that video we concentrated on the mechanical assembly, in the next part we'll do something much more interesting. We'll create an AI brain of our XLeRobot. But meanwhile, if you might be interested not only in real robot, but also in preparing the robot algorithms in simulation and setting up the simulation environments, please check out my previous video, where I set up the robot simulation environment in Unity. Thanks for watching the video till the end. Please like it and subscribe to the channel, it will really help my small channel grow and produce me in future much more, I hope, cool videos for you. So I'm finally glad that project is finished, but it's just the beginning. We have the robot controlled by our manual keyboard, and next step, what we started to work on, is AI LM controlling the robot. What about it, we'll talk in the next video.